I just realized I was muted. I was grooving out to the music. Sorry, guys. All right. Bugs. We're working out the bugs. Stay with me here, okay? Um, yes, I got the mic. Thanks for coming, guys. All I said was basically like, cheers to you guys. Thanks for coming. This is to celebrate the 50,000 of you that have subscribed and watched TheBruSho over the last basically 3 years, I guess. I think we just passed. And yeah, I'm just so appreciative. And so tonight I just want to hang out, answer any questions you have. I see the chat's firing off. Thank you for letting me know about the audio, everybody. And yeah, if you got any questions, feel free to shoot them my way. Otherwise, we'll just kind of hang. I got a few things that I want to talk about, and we got a few things to give away as well. So hopefully, if you're watching, you submitted to enter the giveaway. I'm giving away a few things tonight. I'm giving away a hat or shirt, depending on what you want. You let me know if you win. Also giving away some BrewSho glassware. And last, which I think is pretty exciting, I got 3 of these. 3 of these tilt hydrometers. Kegland sent me a bunch for a giveaway, and I've been holding on to them, and I've been using some of them, but they're pretty sweet. So I think you guys would like these too. So let's check in on the chat and see what's going down. All right. Let's see. Got a lot of cheers. Yeah, what's going on, guys? Nice. Brewing Bad, Cityscape, lots of familiar names. I was looking at the stats. So we actually got, let's see, 630 entries into the giveaway, which is pretty sweet. And you know, why waste any more time? Let's give something away, right? That's what you guys are really here for, not for me. Just kidding. Yeah, let's do this. Giveaway time. I wish I had like a drum roll or something. Let me know if there's any technical issues throughout this. This is the first time I've ever done a giveaway of any kind. So I think what I want to do right now is just select one winner. We'll kind of spread them out, tease you guys a little bit, but let's do one. Let's not allow any repeat winners. And ready? 3, 2, 1. Drum roll. All right, Ryan Poorman. I apologize if your email is getting exposed here, but Ryan Poorman, you have just won the first prize, which is merch, shirt or hat. I'm gonna I'm gonna reach out to you, Ryan, in the next day or so. So please let me know which you would prefer. Sorry, I'm just figuring out the setup here. Let me know what you would prefer, shirt or hat. Congrats to Ryan. Let's check in. The puppers, yeah, my dog's sleeping right now. She'll probably bark and then want to be in this. What up to Tony? Tony is a member, so that reminds me real quick. If you're looking for ways to support the channel, and I appreciate every single one of you watching. It really does help the channel. Obviously, giving me views and stuff like that, and commenting, engaging is a great way to help me out. But the best way you can help out is becoming a channel member, and Tony's one of them. And essentially is for about $5 a month, you can help produce the channel. So it gives me a chance to do something a little different, something more unique. An example of that, recently I did the ABCs of Hops. I don't know if anyone saw that, but it was a bit more intensive of a project. But the channel members, you guys are great. You help me kind of expand and do things that are a little more creative. I'm hoping to do some more unique stuff like that. So shout out to you guys. Also, merch. I'm rocking some merch today. I got the BrewSho skeleton shirt on the merch store, so you can always buy merch. And then super chats, of course, are another way to help out. But, you know, just subscribing, viewing is also great. So I appreciate every single one of you. Let me know in the chat what you're drinking on tonight, what you're sipping on. This is an upcoming video I got here. This is a Czech Pilsner. It's actually this week's video. So look out for that. The whole video is going to be around the idea of smash beers. So this was a single malt, single hop smash. So basically, I won't spoil it too much, but check it out. The video, I'm working on it now. I'm trying to get it out soon because I got a lot to get done before Halloween, which is coming up. And I'm going to drop a Halloween episode for sure. Cider with Kevin says, that Haas video was one of the funniest things I've seen in a while on YouTube. I appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. Oh, Northwest. We got a super chat from Northwest Small Batch Brewing. Cheers on 50K plus and the next 50K. Cheers to you, Northwest. Northwest has a channel as well. He does a lot of like hot tip Thursdays, brewing tips and stuff like that. So be sure to check that out. Trev Who, $1.99. I almost wore my Southo hat or my Southo shirt. But shout out to Trev Who. He's the owner of Southo Brewing in Oceanside. If you're ever in Southern California or in the San Diego area, check him out. All right, we got some people also drinking Czech Pilsner. Homebrew Doppelbock won second place in a few homebrew competitions. Wow, nice, Tony. Cold medicine. Scissor. Nice. Okay, cool. All right, well, I got a little bit of a list of things I wanted to talk about tonight. But, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We're just hanging. We're just chilling. Let's see. All right, so speaking of the channel, I want to hear from you guys. What of my past, let's see, how many videos do I have now? I have 129 videos. Of the last 129 videos, which one has been your favorite, or which one's a standout, or which one do you have questions about? If there's something you want to know behind the scenes on, or how I did something, let me know what you want to see or what you want to know about. I can talk about some of my few favorites, a few highlights throughout the year. So, I mean, obviously a big highlight for me recently was, and I'll pull up my channel here so you can kind of see what I'm looking at. One of the biggest highlights that I had recently was this second video that I ever brewed, how to brew, the Homebrewing 101, just hit 100,000 views, which is crazy. I remember posting that. I had only ever done, one video before that, and I was like, I felt like I need to get the basics out there. I need to just scratch the surface so that I can expand upon it and teach people how to brew. And the fact that 100,000 people have watched it, probably a lot of you found me through that video or subscribed to that video. So huge milestone. I'm very proud of that video. And I feel like it's kind of been the groundwork for a lot of the videos that I've done. I reference it a lot in other ones. So let me know if you've seen that video. Another one that also was huge for the channel, brought in a ton of subscribers, a ton of you came in, was from Ginger Beer, which now has over 1,600,000 views, which is just insane. Have you guys brewed ginger beer? Let me know if you have. I love ginger beer. I've done a few videos now where I've brewed with ginger beer, making like sodas, or I did one was like a switchel. It was, it's another one that I still have the same ginger beer from the beginning in the fridge. I think what's cool about it is it brings a lot of people in. I think that for some people, beer might be too intense, but ginger beer hopefully is a good gateway into home brewing. I mean, my goal at the end of the day is to get more people brewing beer, show that it's not too complicated. So yeah, let me know if you guys have ever brewed anything with the ginger beer. Let's see if we got any comments here. Congrats, Trent. Got to get a brew day prepped, but I'll be out. All right, nice. Zach's about to brew today. Okay, we got a question here from Cider with Kevin, which also has a channel. Be sure to check him out. What's your setup for B-roll? Honestly, the reason why I watch every one of your videos is that the B-roll is always so good looking. Okay, I get a question a lot about the B-roll. I call it beer roll when I shoot because I'm a dork, but I shoot on this camera. I used to shoot on Canon T2i, but this is the Canon R7, and I shoot mainly with this lens. Almost, I would say 90% of my channel is shot with this 24 millimeter Canon lens. If it'll zoom, focus, there we go. And then I have one light. I have two lights. I have the light that's lighting me now and the light behind me, which is like a color light. And then for most of the beginning of the channel, I didn't have any lights. I was just shooting outside because that was the best available light. But for the most part, I'm just shooting super soft main light, and then I'm accenting with a colored light. And shoot slow-mo because it makes everything look good, and make sure you the beer pours over because everybody likes the way that looks. Yeah, I feel like it's my favorite part. Honestly, I wait for most of those videos just to get to the shooting because that is my favorite part. Brewing Bad says you utilize associate producers. Tell us more about that process. Well, as far as like producers go, obviously I have my wife. She's a major part of the channel. She is a producer. She watches all my episodes, gives feedback, helps on the scripts and stuff like that. Helps with filming that beer roll. But then I call the members of my channel BrewSho producers because you guys are essentially paying for what I shoot. So, and oftentimes I'll pull the members on the channel to see like what kind of videos do you want to see next, or I take their, not that you're any people that are not members, I don't take their words seriously, but I take the members since they're putting the money forward, they want to see certain content. I'm gonna lean on them to find out what kind of content I should make next. So if you want to have a voice in what I make, becoming a member is a great way to do that. Let's see. Patrick Buckles, I found you through Brewing a Bag and Apartment Steve. And the latest collab was cool. Yeah, so Steve and I have actually, we got to work together. We did a graph, which is a cider beer hybrid, which was a lot of fun. But my favorite part was just hanging out with Steve. So we started that video remotely, and then we met up at HomebrewCon, which was in San Diego this year. And he's just as awesome as you can expect from his videos. I love hanging out with Steve. Great guy. Love his channel. And I hope to do more with him. I actually got to meet up with him when I was in Boston not too long ago, so a couple weeks ago. And he came out and met with me for some beer, so it was good to see him. Let's see, what else? Loved your cider and tapache videos, but also love when you share your practices or best learn. Yeah, I love those cider and tapache videos as well. I got a couple ciders that I'm going to do this year. Maybe in November. I think I got 2 ciders. Trying to change it up, but we'll see. I'll keep that as a little teaser for what's to come. Let's see. Question from Tony. You ever do a chicha? Yes. Oh, I haven't done one on the channel, but that is a video that I absolutely want to make. My favorite video was the grocery store one. The video that pushed me further the recipe was George Washington's small beer, and I'm still trying to perfect it. Yeah, so chicha I absolutely want to do. It's like a corn-based beer kind of. I have to do more research on it to tell you more about it, but it's basically like a natural fermented corn beer. And then the grocery store one I absolutely loved, and I'm working on a video where I go to a different store, one that has even less, and try and make a beer out of it. But yeah, that one's in the works. And the George Washington small beer, yeah, that was a fun one. Finding old recipes is always something I've been kind of curious about. So finding that George Washington beer recipe on the back of like a journal that he had, I'd love to do more like that. I think what's his name? Ben. What's that guy's name that found the electricity? Help me out, chat. But there's a ton of like old beer recipes that I would love to go. A company reached out to me. They have yeast from like Egypt and stuff like that they found in like old vases, and I'd love to use that, figure out a beer to make that. So I'm working on that as well. Got a lot of things brewing right now. Has Detective BrewSho solved any more crimes? I am definitely wanting to bring that back, but he died, right? So how do I bring him back? And if you haven't seen that video, it's a video where it's like a film noir type video where I solve brewing mysteries. It was a lot of fun to make, kind of like the Halloween videos. But before we go to that, let's jump over and pick another winner. How about that? And then I'll talk about the upcoming Halloween episode. All right. Draw another winner. What? 4 winners unpicked. Okay, then let me pick one. Okay. Interesting. Stand by while I figure this out. check out the chat while I figure this out. Let me know what you guys are brewing next. What do you guys got going on? Winners. Okay, it just picked all 4, so I'm gonna have to keep this a secret. But I have the next 4 winners ready to go, and the next winner of. Oh, I see how it picked. So, all right, I got it. I got it now. Okay, so the first pick Ryan. You actually won a wrapped pail, so congrats to you. If you're watching, Ryan, let me know if you're here. You got the first pail. So let me jump ahead, and I'll pick the person that won the TheBruSho merch glass. This beautiful glass right here. You're the next winner. Is Kyle Rassman. Kyle Rassman, congrats. Congrats on winning, Kyle. Let me know if you're in the chat. I want to hear from you. Otherwise, I will reach out to you. All right. Exciting. I was talking about Halloween. Yes. So Halloween is around the corner. And if you haven't seen my last 2 Halloween videos, you absolutely should check them out. I did the first one was kind of a parody on Blair Witch Project. So if you've ever seen that, kind of like a found footage type video. And then the second last year was Frankenstein. And I had a ton of fun making that, shooting it in the style of Frankenstein, rewatching the old movies and stuff like that. I love all things like Halloween. This is my favorite time of year. My birthday is the day before Halloween, so I've always had kind of affinity for it. And then this year I'm working on a couple, actually working technically on 2 Halloween videos. One is a collaboration, so I'm working with Elementary Brew Co., which has an amazing channel. Brian makes really entertaining videos. He's a teacher, so he's good at teaching people how to brew. But the whole concept that we had was, what if you gave somebody else your favorite candy and then have them make a beer out of it? So we swapped our favorite candies. I won't tell you which ones they are yet, but I gave him one that I love. If you know me and you follow the channel, you probably know what it is. But I think he had an easier job than the one he gave me. It was very difficult. But it was a good challenge, and the video's coming together great. We're actually doing our tasting. We swapped beers, so we're doing our tasting this weekend. But that video will be coming out. And then my Halloween-themed special will be, let's see, how do I want to, let's just say the theme is slasher this year, so should be a good one. I'm putting a lot of editing into it, so we'll see. Speaking of editing, Cityscape asks, what editing software do you use? I use Premiere, pretty much Premiere, Photoshop, and After Effects. Let's see. Let's back up a little bit and see if I can find some more questions here. Whatever happened to that kafucha, says Goose Fraba. I stopped making it. It was just too much for me. I think the double acidity, you get the kombucha acidity and the coffee acidity. It was too much. It was hard to put down. And I think it's worth experimenting if you are into super acidic things, and I've seen it sold in stores, and it's definitely way sweeter than the one I have, so maybe I need to experiment with it more, but kafucha is no more. Chris wants to know, would love a video where you talk about unexpected things you face during a brew day and how you solve them, like stuck sparge or not hitting your targets. Oh, that's a great idea. I love that. Yeah, I'll make that one. Brady Grooms. I'm obsessed with Macchioli right now. The sake video is super helpful. If you were to make it 100% rice beer, what would be your preferred yeast? So when I made the sake video, I used champagne yeast, and I actually did use some hops in it as well. But I felt like the champagne yeast kind of gave like a peppery character that I wasn't too fond of. It might have been the temperature that I fermented at as well. I mean, that is a good question. I feel like if you want just no flavor out of it, maybe something like a Lutra could work, because you could ferment it pretty warm and it could still turn out pretty clean. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Ben Franklin, that's right. What's the best advice you've ever gotten from another home brewer? Oh, that's a good one. Man, I think, it always goes back to fermentation temperature for me. And I think that is still something that, not that I struggle with, but it's something that I keep top of mind all the time. And it's something that I think any new brewer, even if you're fermenting kombucha, temperature control matters. So, yeah, keeping a mind of that is important. Let's jump ahead. A lot of congrats. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on the chat, you guys. Oh, someone's Brewing Bad's fermenting a Reese's Porter right now, along with a cider. Nice. I love Reese's. That should give you a hint to the beer that someone else maybe. Let's see. Circus peanuts. I used to love circus peanuts. Low key, I loved circus peanuts. I used to get them from my grandma. I have fond memories of circus peanuts. I haven't had them maybe in 15 years, but I used to love them. Shout out to Dope Cardboard. He makes great content about Pokemon cards if you're into that. All right. Cool. You know what? Let's go ahead and pick somebody else. I already got them picked, but I hope you're ready. This would be for a TheBruSho merch shirt. So let me know what kind of shirt you want, or if you want a hat too. I can swap this out this winter. Just let me know. I'll reach out to you. But hopefully you're here in the chat because you get bonus points if you're in the chat tonight. But the winner of the TheBruSho merch shirt is Elias Vilches. Let me know if you're here. Otherwise, I'll email you. And that leaves just 2 picks left for the 2 remaining wrapped pill hydrometers. And I want to talk about these, but before we go into that, so I feel like there's a lot of good questions coming in about like my best advice I've received, things that I've learned. So I actually wrote down a list of like the top 5 things that I've learned from starting a YouTube channel about brewing, and they are mainly focused on like being more efficient and things like that. But the first one that I could think of was that prep day the day before means 0 stress on the brew day. Brewing, I think, brew days can be like pretty stressful. I think we've all been there, and you're panicking or you forget an ingredient and you don't have everything written down. But I've started, since I'm also filming, which adds a whole nother layer of complication, I started just doing as much prep as I can the day before. So I'm grinding the grains, which I haven't seen any negative effects to grinding them the day before. I'm, obviously collecting my water, weighing out my water adjustments if I do that. I usually don't weigh out the hops, but you could totally do that. And then I'll try and heat up the water. Since I'm on the clawhammer system, I can heat up the water the night before, so it's just ready to go in the morning. Obviously, make sure I got my cameras, lights, and all that stuff ready to go. But as much prep as you can do the day before makes the day, not only the brew day shorter, but just way less stressful. And ever since I started doing that, brew days have been more fun to me. The next one I have here is that some of the shortcuts that I found. So if you've ever, listened to Brewlosophy or read any of their blog posts, they talk about the short and shoddy method and how, you can still mash for 30 minutes and get, a good extract of your fermentables, or you can boil for less time. So I started pulling those things in pretty early on when I started doing the channel, and I found that it really shortened the brew day. And I recently just got an Xchillerator, which is not a sponsor of the channel, but I've been playing around with it, and I really enjoyed how quickly I can get that chilled down too. So it's just these things that I can do to kind of shorten the brew day by doing the prep ahead of time, minimizing the amount of time that I'm having to actually brew. I can really get my brew day down to, the actual brew day down to like 2 hours, and then clean up, it's hard to avoid cleanup, but as much as I can then multitask between, waiting for a mash or waiting for it to boil to do some cleanup, saves a lot of time, and it's been great. Another thing that I picked up was doing small batches. So recently I've been doing a lot more small batches in my claw hammer system, but you could do this in any system. If you're brewing on a stovetop or just doing brew in a bag, is not to be afraid of the smaller 2.5 gallon batch. I have always in the past just been doing 5 gallons because it fits the full keg, but then I got like a 2.5 gallon keg and been doing a lot smaller batches. Or even if you're bottling, just doing the smaller batches, it's better for heating up, you know, getting up to temperature, boiling, as well as chilling down. Space saves a lot of space. There's a lot of benefits to it, and you know, especially if you're experimenting, you don't need to do 5 gallons. I've learned that the hard way on this channel, where I'm constantly putting out new recipes. I don't always have to do 5 gallons of, you know, a crazy sour. So try doing small batches. I see some people agreeing with me. Yes, 1000%. Prep your brew day. Yep. Completely agree. Yep. Cheers, Julio. Let's see. What else did I pick up? One thing I'm realizing more recently is like you can't predict how long it can take something to brew. It really is yeast dependent, fermentation health dependent. But I found, you know, when I'm on the schedule of the channel, I'm trying to churn videos out. I'm trying to stay ahead of the schedule. But a lot of times you just can't predict. For a while, you know, I was like giving myself 3 weeks from brew day to posting the video. But some yeast you just can't predict, and you can't rush it either. Having one of these does help. I started using these wrapped pill hydrometers, which if you've never actually used one of these or seen one of these, they're pretty sweet. So basically what it is you put it in your fermenter and it floats a certain way depending on the gravity or how much sugar is in the fermentation. And that angle gets sent back via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to like your phone, to your computer. You can even put it into like brewing software. And it also tells you temperature, so you can hook it up to certain temp controllers. They have like a proprietary one. And what's cool is like you then see a graph. You can see how it like starts fermenting and it starts moving down. And it gives you a better sense of like how fermentation's coming along. And it gives you a second data point as far as like temperature. So these have been a great addition. And I can actually see how fermentation's going, not just relying on an airlock and checking gravity every few days. This has been a pretty sweet tool. It's similar to a tilt. Yeah. Bobby says the tilts work really great for me. Yeah, it's very similar to that. This is just Kegland's version. If you aren't a lucky winner tonight, Kegland sells them on their website, or More Beer actually has them on their site. So be sure to check them out. The last thing that I learned from my channel is that time is the best for beer. Just like the other point about not rushing the fermentation, not rushing to get to drink. And I know that we all get excited as soon as you get it in a keg and you want to burst carbonate it. Time, I think, heals a lot of the sins in beer. Clarity, for one. You can throw a bunch of biofine or other clarifiers at it, and it does work, but time is the best for clarity. It's the best for flavors to mellow out. I mean, this Czech Pilsner that I've been drinking, it's pretty clear. I didn't put any biofine in this. I just let it sit for like a month in the kegerator, and it is probably one of my favorite beers, especially for being a smash beer. It's freaking fantastic. All right, Damien wants some free stuff, so let's give away the second to last gift, which is one of these wrapped pill hydrometers, brought to you by Kegland. Shout out to Kegland. Okay, the winner of this is, I'm playing a drum roll in my head, Jeremy LeBlond. Jeremy, let me know if you're in the chat. You get double extra bonus points if you're in the chat. Otherwise, I'll reach out to you. It's kind of fun. I can actually see where a lot of these people are. Jeremy's from Canada. Shout out to Canada. He's the one and only Canada winner tonight, so congrats to him and representing Canada. And we have a membership. Oh, this is just saying Tony he's been a member for 10 years. Huge congrats to the milestone, Trent, for YouTube. channel to hit this milestone, especially a homebrew channel, is amazing. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. It has been a ride. It's been a great ride. Yeah, homebrew channels don't really get that big, so I feel very fortunate that you guys want to watch and have continued to watch. So thank you. All right, let's back up and answer some more questions. Tom. Let's see. Tom says, hello. If I use distilled water and add water salts they show in the video, would that be fine? Yeah, absolutely. Distilled water is a great option for water because it's basically a blank slate. The only problem is getting some. Sometimes it can be hard to find, but if you have access to it, it's great. Most of the time these days, I just use spring water or reverse osmosis from like those big like water things outside of grocery stores. I think it works great for me. So, oh, RTP Medic 66. I made your hazy hopped cider today. Making the pulque again. Oh, sweet, you made the pulque. And I love that the hop cider. It's probably one of my favorites that I've ever made. If you like beer and you've never brewed a cider, I would say make the hazy hop cider. It is so good. I think I used Cryo Citra hops in it. It was fantastic. Really, just really good. Let's see. How long does the production setup take with all the video equipment? I keep it pretty lean. I can probably set up to shoot, like, it depends. So like if I'm shooting a brew day, I'll set it up in like 10 minutes because I really just have this one light on the brew day. I'll maybe throw this light in the background somewhere, and then my camera is usually ready to go. So I keep it pretty light. Northwest asks, how accurate is that pill? I have a tilt, but found it's not accurate for readings. I will say that you have to like make sure it's calibrated before use. It's not something you can just grab and throw in. I find that I have to, make sure that it's calibrated for water. Put in water, and there's like it connects to your phone. You can calibrate it and stuff like that. But once it's set and once it's good, it's pretty accurate. Questions. Yeah, Chris says, I saved a cider to bottle condition for 6 months, and it's amazing how much improved. Cider especially, if you can wait. I tend to not wait, but if you can wait on ciders, they really do get better. Congrats on the subscriber goal. This channel was one that got me into brewing. Nice, Captain Rob the Pirate. Sweet name. Let's see. Tony's got another question. Let's see. Trent, how long have you been a home brewer for? What drew you in the hobby? What horrors did you go through when you dove in? So my origin story, if you will, is actually with homebrewing wine. I got a homebrewing wine kit for Christmas one year, and it was one of those ones where they give you like juice extract, and they have like a list of steps, and you just follow it, and it makes like 30 bottles of wine. And I was like, this is sweet. It turned out pretty good, and I got really into it. And then a few years later, I got a Mr. Beer kit, and it was absolutely awful. The worst thing I've ever tasted. And the next 3 or 4 batches were just the same because I had no idea. First of all, that they didn't really give the instructions for how to do it properly, how to ferment at the right temperature, things like that. So yeah, it was bad. But eventually, I got better. Got into brewing a bag, things like that. Figured out how to do things. I've always been a fan of fermentation too. That's why I have other things on my channel like ginger beer, tepache, sake. I just love fermented things, especially fermented drinks. So I definitely want to do more of that. Thinking about doing some kvass video, which is like fermented bread water, essentially. Yeah, I definitely want to do more of that stuff because I find it very interesting. Let's see. Distilled for the win. Shout out to Gnome. Kurt Pitt, congrats, Trent. I'm looking forward to more of your work. You've helped the community in more ways than you can't imagine. Congrats, everyone, and have a great evening. Cheers, Kurt. Thanks for stopping by, man. All right. Felklaw asks, what's the recommendation for trying to use a tilt pill instead of a keg with pressure fermentation. I've tested my ice spindle, but didn't seem to make communication due to the steel walls. So I have used this inside of stainless steel fermenters and haven't had any issues. Especially, I think this one's got like Bluetooth setting, which I think worked a little better. But I know pressure fermentation can kind of throw these off, so that might be part of the issue. But I haven't done enough research on that to say. Congrats on 50K. I also mentioned you were in Chicago for a bit. What's your favorite neighborhood brewery when you were here? Nice. That's from the Synodon. Yeah, I lived in Chicago for 10 years. It's been about 5 years since I left, but my favorite neighborhood. I'm a bit biased. I lived in the West Loop, so when I was there, it was definitely really up and coming. Lots of good restaurants there. I do love going to Wrigley. I'm a Cubs fan as well. But my favorite brewery, I really love Half Acre and Revolution. So those are they really can't do any wrong in my opinion. Worth checking out if you're ever in Chicago. Goose asks, plan on doing live stream more often? I would love to, but only if people want to show up and watch and hang out. So let me know if it's something you're interested in. Might do this more often. I would love to. If people are into it, I'd love to do it. Might maybe monthly, bring on a guest, talk about beer, talk about fermentation. But it's really just what the people want. So you gotta let me know. Ever thought about using flavors and mixing into a completed fermentation? I have done that a little bit. I actually have a video about comparing cider that's flavored with real fruit versus extract, and I added in the extract post fermentation, and that was very fascinating. I recommend if you're curious about getting into extracts or like trying that to do it side by side because they bring different qualities. To me, the actual blueberries brought a more like real full blueberry flavor. They also brought the sweetness and the color of blueberries, whereas the extract to me was very much like candy. It brought like a blueberry artificial candy flavor, which in its own way is kind of cool. Like if you're into that, if you're trying to replicate maybe like a certain candy that you like, that could be a good way to do it. But yeah, okay, yeah. So Bluetooth cannot penetrate steel. So maybe I was using the Wi-Fi. I don't know. These things, they got multiple ways to do it. You can use 5-gallon kegs for small batches too. You're just gonna waste some gas. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just use a little more gas, but you can absolutely use big kegs for little small batches. Or they have those like, which I've done videos on, those mini pressurized growlers. They're like 1 gallon. They're more expensive, but those are really good. You can get the little keg lids on it, and you can just carbonate your beer in that too. Would you ever consider a BrewSho homebrew kit? That's a good question. I'd have to think about it. Like, what would I put in it? What would be in the BrewSho homebrew kit? It would have to be very just like simple. It'd be like Mr. Beer Kit if it was good. But like, everything included, and no matter what you do, if you ferment it in like 100 degrees, I'll have Kvike in there so anyone can make good beer with it. That's what I don't understand. It's like none of these kits use Kvike. That seems like an obvious choice for a beginner because you really can't mess it up, but I don't know. What ingredient would you want to try in the future? Which ingredient would you want to revisit? That is a good question, Jeffrey Brosif. Apologies for the camera shutting off. What ingredient would I want to try in the future? Spruce. Actually, that is an easy one because I just learned about this company that preserves spruce tips after they pick them, and you can buy them online. I'm gonna try and do a spruce tip beer. I think that'd be really fun. And what one would I revisit? Probably passion fruit. I love I'm really on a big passion fruit kick, and I did a passion fruit sour that was a non-alcoholic sour. It was actually a collaboration with Hops and Gnarly, and that turned out really, really good. So I would love to do passion fruit again. Is it really necessary for water chemistry to make great beer? By Lauren. I would say that it's a tough one because you don't need to know water chemistry to make great beer. You can just use store-bought water, or even if you have good tap water, to make good beer. But I would say, like, it's that next step up. If you are making really good beer that you love, play with water chemistry, because I think it does give you a little bit more control, especially if you start thinking about like IPAs and you like a certain quality of IPA, like more harsh bitterness, then maybe using something like sulfite or gypsum can give that pop of the hops. So it's worth checking out for sure. Having a guest Q&A would be fun. Adam Makes Beer. Adam Makes Beer would be a great guest. I agree. I've talked to Adam a few times, actually. And I would love to get together with him for sure. Have you done any more podcasts lately? Yeah, actually, that's funny. I actually just did 2 podcasts that I'll be on in the coming weeks. So one of them is the Homebrew Happy Hour with the guys. They have a YouTube channel, but they also have a podcast. Josh, Todd, and James, and it was mainly with just Josh, but that was a lot of fun. That'll come out next Thursday, I think, so keep a lookout for that. And then I'm going on another podcast, Brewed Up, which is Taylor and Lori. They're actually in LA, located out of LA area. They're just 2 female homebrewers, and they were actually at HomebrewCon. If you went to HomebrewCon, you probably saw them. They had a whole event that they did. So yeah, I got some things to look forward to in the podcast world. I thought about doing my own podcast, but I don't know. I think I'd rather do these live streams, hang out with you guys. All right, how's everyone doing? Should we give away the last giveaway? Should we do it? The last pill hydrometer? Let me know. If you have any other questions, keep the questions coming. And yeah, let's do this. We got the last giveaway to give. So I want to thank everybody again for entering the giveaway and for subscribing. I can't thank you enough. It still blows my mind that people are watching and care and are even here tonight to like hang out with me. Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate all of you watching, commenting every video. It's awesome. It's awesome having a community like this that is so supportive and is just curious about learning to brew. And that's what I wanted to build, was just a group of people that, you know, want to hang out, and there's no judgment if you're a beginner or you're experienced. You know, we're all in this together. So as cheesy as that sounds, it's true. Let's pick the last one. All right, for the last and final wrapped pill hydrometer by Kegland goes to Simon Presley. Congrats to Simon Presley. Let me know if you're here, Simon. I hope so. All you guys entering that aren't here are losing bonus points, but all of you that are here are gaining them. Anyway, Simon, congrats. I'll read out the rest of the name of the winners. Actually, I'll just show you guys. These are the names of the winners of tonight's draft or drawing. Shout out to Ryan Poorman, winner of the Rap Pill, Simon, Jeremy LeBlond, Elias Vilchis, and Kyle Rassman. Hopefully you guys are here. If not, I will email you. And thank you everybody again for joining and entering the contest. But we're still going to hang out. So if you want to hang out for a little more, we can. Keep the questions coming. Keep them rolling. And thank you again for subscribing. Let's see, what else do we got going on the Brew Show these days? I'm going to talk about some other upcoming projects. So I did a poll not too long ago that was asking, what do you guys want to see? What do you want to see, more? And I do a bunch of polls on the community board. So if you're not going over to the community board, you gotta check it out. But I did a poll not too long ago asking, like, what kind of videos do you want to see coming up? And a majority of people said 46% said they wanted to see fall, winter recipes, ciders, beers, etc. with a seasonal twist. So I'm going to be doing a couple of them coming up. So I mentioned I'll be doing some ciders, and then I'll also be doing a pumpkin beer because it is pumpkin season. But it is pumpkin beer with a twist. It is pumpkin beer without pumpkin spice, which I think is one of the better ones that I've ever made, because sometimes that spice is a bit too much, but I have a trick to add that spice character without adding the actual spice. And then in second place here we got, let's see, brewing tips. So I'll definitely be adding some more of those. For my own pleasure, I'll be adding in some easy fermentations like kvass, some other cool things like that. But let me know, if you ever have any ideas, of course, let me know. Reach out to me. I'll, add them to the list. I got a list of things. Otherwise, we can also, you can always become a member. That's one way to do it and really get my attention. Let's see, what other questions we got? Would you ever consider making a beer using sourdough starter for your yeast pitch? That is a great one. I'm working on that video, actually. My whole idea actually is that, what if I took a sourdough yeast starter and made a beer out of it, and then took that yeast and made bread out of it? I don't know. I thought that would be kind of cool to see the whole circle of life type thing. So stay tuned for that. It'll definitely be a kind of funky, weird beer. Or I could start with the beer, make the bread, and then make another beer from the bread. I don't know. Let me know. What do you think's a better video? Favorite breweries in DFW? Is that Dallas Fort Worth? I really don't know. I think I've only been there like once. So Jay Franco, let me know what the best breweries in DFW are. You're an SD native, right? Yes, I am. What's your opinion on Coronado Brewing Company? I think they have some really solid beers. I went to their brewery with my wife not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago. But it's cool to go to that area. I never really explored Coronado. It's like its own little like peninsula island area. But I haven't explored a lot of their beer line, but they make some good stuff. I'm trying to think of like what their IPA is that I think it's just Coronado. The what is it called? Weekend Vibes. That one's pretty good. I like that one. I got a pumpkin spice latte stout in the fermenter right now. Nice. I've done that one before. It's good. What's your favorite sleeper craft bar down south? I'm going to be down there a couple weeks, and I'm always looking for something new. I'm near San Francisco. Man, that's a tough one. Well, if you're coming to San Diego, there's you can't throw a stone without hitting a good brewery. I love if you ever heard of Bagby is in Oceanside. They're really good. Obviously South O, my buddy Trevor, he's got a brewery here. Yeah, there's a lot. I'm sure it's tough. Patrick, hit me up, DM me on Instagram or something. I can give you a full list. Yes, Pippi, this is some Brew Show merch right here. Skeleton drinking beer, going right through them. I designed this, by the way. I have some design skills, but not many. Tried a splash of pumpkin beer last night. It tasted just like pumpkin pie. I wouldn't be able to drink a pie. Yeah. Sometimes they're like too sweet or too spiced. Like just a little bit. That's all you need. Beer bread. Okay. Tony says, here's an idea. You compete with other YouTube brewers in a BJCP competition, all entering the same category, and see who comes out on top. Heck, do multiple categories. Man, I'll tell you what, I'd probably lose if I'm competing against like Steve or Martin. I don't know. I'd probably lose that, but it could be entertaining. What's up, Jonathan Elliott? What's up, Clayton? Just popping in to tell you I love you, Braj. Oh, nice, man. Love you too. Big weekend IPA, yeah. Let's see. Simon Pierre says, I started making cider because of your videos, and I'm glad I did. I've noticed a weird acidity, bitterness when the cider is still young. Is that your experience as well? I would say, like, in general, like, if you're just using store-bought juice, it gets pretty dry. So that might be part of it. Like, it just dries out so much that it's just, like, tart. I get a lot of tartness out of super dry cider. So you try back sweetening with, if you stabilize and back sweeten, or even if you are kegging and you keep it cold and you add some like more apple juice in, it'll stay pretty sweet for a while and kind of help with the tartness. Society is good, yeah. They are, like, Society Pupils, really good. Appreciate the congrats, everybody. Thank you. If you could be any hop, what hop would you be? And what hop would be your mortal enemy and why? Frazzle Penguin coming in with the questions. If I could be any hop, what would I be? That is a good question. Let me think about that one for a sec. I guess, if I had to pick one, it would be... Oh, man. If I had to pick one, probably like Mosaic. Not only just because I love that hop, but it's kind of like a little bit funky. It has a little bit of a danky weirdness to it. If you use it in a weird way, because I can kind of be weird sometimes, it can kind of go differently. But for the most part, it makes for great IPAs. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably a weird answer, but that's a good, hard question. I don't know. And what would be my mortal enemy hop? What hop do I... Probably like a Nugget. I never really liked Nugget. Just... Yeah. Kind of tastes dirty to me, but maybe I'm using it wrong. Clayton says... I'm sorry to hear that, Clayton. Yeah, do what any homebrewer would do. Start brewing. Congrats, Trent. Your sake video made me a fan. Cheers, Jonathan, man. Yeah, that video is a lot of fun. I think, somebody else mentioned earlier Macchioli. I don't know how to say it. I definitely want to do that. I definitely want to do more rice wines and things like that. So, thank you for the compliments on the shirt. Yeah, I'm drinking Czech Pilsner that I made. Single hop. So, Bohemian floor malted Pilsner and Satz. That's it. Video is coming out soon. Next video, probably. El Camino says, I would be Fogo because it's fun to say. My enemy would be EKG. I kind of like... Well, EKG is okay. It depends on the beer. It really depends. Thorn Meadery. Is there such thing as using too many hops? Golden Road has a 10 hop IPA. And I feel like it's so many hops that it doesn't have a distinct flavor. I think that there is. And part of the reason of me doing this beer is to talk about how using like one ingredient, using one hop can be such a good thing because it lets that one hop shine. And I think, yeah, using 10 hop, that just seems like a marketing thing. Use 10 different hops. Like, how do you really, like, it becomes all muddled at that point. I feel like even if I use 3 hops, it starts to get a little, like, I can't really find the flavor. You know who has a really good video on this is, what's his name? He's a mead maker. Doing the Most. He did a video where he added, like, a hop every, like, minute for 90 minutes. That's the definition of too many hops. I think it turned out, like, super bitter. Nice. Loco said they went to the Czech Republic recently and had the beer, and it was out of this world. Yeah, that's where I really fell in love with, like, pilsners, was Czech Republic, especially the dark. Hopefully you got to try the dark pilsner or the dark Czech pilsner. It was amazing. That will be one I'm adding someday. I definitely want to brew that one. I also am really craving an alt beer. I don't know if you've ever had an alt beer, but it's just like so refreshing, malty. I actually just reached out to a friend for a recipe, so I'll probably be brewing alt beer pretty soon here. Let's see, what else do we got on the schedule? I mean, I already gave away all the gifts. We could talk about, you know what we could talk about? I had a video come out a couple weeks ago called the ABCs of Hops, and it was a lot of fun to make, but it was it was a lot of work, and I actually have got something right here. I got him right here, Hoppo, which I don't think a lot of people realize that I actually made Hoppo from scratch. So this is like, I got all this stuff from like Hobby Lobby. So I got like the fur, and I made the hands and stuff. Pretty crazy. It was something that I always wanted to do. Big fan of like Jim Henson and stuff like that, and puppet stuff. So, and one detail you probably couldn't see in the video was actually that his little tongue's a hop. But I had a ton of fun making it. It was hard because I performed both parts, right? So I did it on a green screen, performing one part looking this way. I had to look like a little like tennis ball, and then the other part I had to like go like this and like perform the thing. But it was a lot of fun. I don't know, a lot of people didn't watch it, but I'm sure the few of you that did watch it really enjoyed it. But yeah, labor of love, as they say. Maybe Hoppo will make a return. We'll see. Hoppo tongue. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to make that one. Cityscape says, I'm doing a black IPA next. Never done that, but love them. Yeah, I love black IPA too. I made that one for Halloween 2 years ago. Turned out really good. Oh gosh, the issue with Hoppo is that he like sheds like crazy. Ignore the fuzz on me. I don't know, guys. We're just hanging out. Let me know if you have any other questions. Otherwise, we can just chat. I can talk about some of my we were reflecting on the channel and things like that. You know, one thing we could talk about is like some of my favorite collabs throughout the years, and if I have any plans to do any more collabs, and if you guys are interested in collabs, that's the most important. So obviously we talked a little bit about me and Steve's collab on the graph. That was fun. That was my second graph that I've done, and it's, you know, the beer cider hybrid. But it was fun to watch somebody else do it. And in that one, we actually spun a wheel to like let the wheel decide which styles we were going to get. And we both got kind of like pretty wild things. I maybe should have eliminated some things from the wheel of pain and misery, but I got a Brute IPA, and Steve got the What do you get? He got the old ale or something. I don't know. It was very interesting, but that was a lot of fun to make. And he was in a lot of the HomebrewCon video as well. Let's see. What other collabs did I do? It's been a while. I talked about this one too, the passion fruit 0% non-alcoholic. We challenged each other. We sent each other examples of beers, non-alcoholic beers to make. And I definitely want to do more non-alcoholic stuff. I think that is truly like an unexplored area. I mean, there's a small channel that does it on YouTube. I can't remember the name right now, but they're doing low and non-alcoholic beers. But I would love to do more of that. I think it's a trend, and I think it's not as hard. I think it's just that there wasn't research many years ago, and now there's a lot of research about it. So I'll definitely be re-exploring that. I did mead with man-made mead without honey. It's a pretty good one. Let's see, what else did we do? Oh, this is a good one, and I've had a few requests to do this again. The 12 different brew tubers giving tips for the 12 days of Brewmas. That was a ton of fun, but it was hard to get like everybody to send in their thing. And a lot of these guys, they aren't posting as much anymore. I mean, I can see, Pros with Peter hasn't been posting. Animated's not been posting. Yeast and the Beast has been missing, so it short-circuited. So maybe I got to do it again, get some new guys in there. I don't know. And then right next to that was the collab with Martin. We sent each other a mystery brew box of ingredients. Yeah, I try to do something like super different with each collab. And I love some of the ideas that you guys have thrown out tonight. So if you have any other ideas on what I should do with a collab and who I should do it with, let me know. Probably my earliest collab here was with the Homebrew for Life guys, Maury and CH. And I got to give a big shout out to CH because he kind of like really welcomed me into the BrewTube community early on. I think he found me when I had like 1,000 subscribers, reached out to me. He's like, hey, want to collab? And I was like, yeah, let's do this. So I drove up. I was living in LA, so I drove down from LA, met up with this guy that I only knew as like a wild YouTuber, and the rest is history. So shout out to him, giving me the love early on. But yeah, I definitely got a few collabs in the works, as I mentioned, with Elementary Brew Co. So let me know, who else do we want to see collab with? The video you think you'll get lots of views never does. It's always the video you think will tank that goes viral. Very true. Jorge says, congrats, your videos among others are the reason I got really into brewing. My first beer was following one of your old videos. Cheers to many more subscribers. Cheers to you, Jorge, and all of you guys watching and subscribing. Jonathan Elliott plans to go pro. Not in the meantime, but maybe someday. Pippi, my most viewed video is the I just looked at it. My most viewed is ginger beer. Yeah, the Corona non-alcoholic is pretty good. I thought the Heineken, I mean, I'm not a huge Heineken guy. I kind of roasted them in my last video, but as far as like non-alcoholic to regular version, it's pretty close. I've tried a lot of the non-alcoholics actually, because my father-in-law doesn't drink. So anytime he's in town, we go over to like the Bevmo or wine and beer place and pick up a bunch. Have you ever had homebrew burnout, where you just wanted to walk away from brewing or take a real long break? Any advice for people who do run into that dreaded burnout? I would say I've kind of like, I definitely had burnout early on because I was just not making anything good. I think it was just lack of knowledge, lack of experience. And so I stepped away, but I was still always kind of curious. So I read about it, did some reading, but wasn't brewing. And then I jumped back in. I do occasionally think about, posting a lot or like creating content that can create burnout. Luckily, I haven't experienced it, but I don't think I'll ever like it's hard to say I'll never stop making content, but if I do get to the point where it's becoming stressful or too much, I'll just slow down the amount I post. And I think you can kind of see this year I kind of taken a step back. Haven't been posting as much, but I'm still having fun, so still making stuff. And when I feel like I have something that I feel happy with and ready to share with you guys, I'll share it. But I'm trying to get on a grind for the rest of the year, so I got a lot of videos planned. Any thoughts on making wine? Shout out to Tiger Pat. He's always like the first person to comment on all my videos. I have made a couple wines actually. I made a rosé and I made a champagne, but I would love to make some wine with real grapes. Those were made from juice. And on that note, I'd also love to make some cider with real apples. So there's a little like apple area to the east of San Diego called Julian. So I'd love to head up there, get some apples. I'd love to actually naturally ferment them, but we'll see. It's kind of a risk, but I've heard good things if you can make it work. I've been brewing 4 years. We all make bad beers. Yeah, that's right. And, not every beer I make is great either. I have a couple right now that I'm not super happy with. That graph I wasn't super happy with. And it can be tough when it's like, I'm making the video and I've already put the brew day in, filmed all of that. I've already, put it into a keg. Basically, the only thing I haven't done is recorded the voiceover and filmed it and tasted it. So I put a lot of work into the video, and then if the beer isn't good, I'll either tell you really how it is or I just won't make the video. I think it's probably better when I do share what I don't like about it, because then it's a learning opportunity. But that's all part of brewing. Like, you're going to make mistakes. It's better to just learn from the mistakes and keep going. How many times do people do something on their first try and are great at it? It's very, very rare. Hey dude, what's up? Love that dank IPA recipe. Nice. A Joyce? Yeah, I love that beer. That is like one of my favorite beers that I've made. I think if I were to open a brewery, that would be like a staple beer for sure. The dank IPA I made. It's just so good. I'm trying to remember what hops I put in it, but super flavorful. I generally am an IPA guy, but these days I've been kind of going more towards lagers and pilsners. Yeah, guys, I don't know. Just want to say again, thank you for coming to hang out. If you got any other questions, shoot them over now. Otherwise, I'm probably going to close this out. I appreciate everybody coming through and all the super chats and channel members that have showed up. And anyone that entered the competition, and congrats to all the winners again. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. You guys, everyone that's here right now, everybody that comments in videos, you're what make doing this, make me want to keep making videos. You make it all worth it. Yeah, and I appreciate every one of you. And again, if you have any ideas, I'm always open to them. Please share them in the comments. Share them, share them, any way you can reach me. I'm on Instagram at TheBruSho. We have a Discord channel, which I haven't been on a lot, so I apologize for that, but I do check it out every now and then. Yeah. Any last? Oh wow, that was almost like serendipitous, but. Last questions, calling out. I'm going to chug the last bit of this beer. Cheers to you guys. $50K. Here's to 100K. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you coming out. I think it's a good time to end it. And yeah, if you want to do this again, if you want to do more live streams, let me know. If you want to see me with some guests, so it's not just me and my awkwardness, my boring, let me know. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, let me know. If you want to see more live streams, yeah, shout out to Cityscape. Congrats on 5. Congrats, Trent. Keep up the good work. Cheers to you, man. Go subscribe to Cityscape. Let's get him going. Let's get those numbers up. Keep posting. And thanks, guys. I love every single one of you. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, everybody.